Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on...
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Austin Armadillos. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Now a first carry here for Robinson. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. A look there at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They really played well in that win last week against Miami.
They held them to just 7 points, and in reviewing the game tape, I'm wondering how they got the 7. I actually wrote a note to myself. How did they even score? The way they were playing, absolutely dominating on their side of the ball.
Prescott to throw it. And it's complete. Henry. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big 30-yard play on 3rd.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
The numbers in last week's ball game for Robinson: 8 carries, 51 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
First down, Prescott. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Well, they took the shot, didn't get it, and there's definitely a difference here because they had a chance to get 7, maybe 8 if they pushed it. Instead, they'll likely settle for 3.
Yeah, opening drive, holding him to 3, psychologically, maybe a win for the defense. The kick by Carlson is good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So a nice opening drive on the road. You get the 3 points. Part of you wonders if that might hurt them later not getting into the end zone.
Well, the good thing is, still first quarter, and they did come out of it with points. In a sense, they can look at positively and say, hey, we set the pace in this one. I think that's how they'll go about it.
Now the former fourth-round pick, it's Kalen Balaj. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. The numbers for him from a week ago, 18 carries, 80 yards.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on him. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest game, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Gun! 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 Gun!
Looking to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Balaj. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Right back to him on first down. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Credit the tackle there to Aaron Lynch.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Detroit! Detroit! Set!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Going right side here, and that's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And his guys have taken a first quarter lead. And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
McManus's point after is good, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Now McManus on to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They go play action here on first down. He finds Ross, right side, it's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And they've got it here with a first down. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They run. Robinson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They'll run it down with Robinson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
That's 2 really good stops in a row. Back-to-back tackles for losses. I mean, let's face it, they are locked into what they're doing offensively. And now they've earned the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, haven't they?
Yeah, and offensively they're going to have to do something else because the run game, at least on this drive, isn't working. On 4th down, here's Lachlan Edwards to punt it. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Now this offense about ready to take over again. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run here with Balaj. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now Balaj. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he'll finally be taken down at the 18. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. That's a football play right there. That takes me back a little bit. Toss sweep to the right. Get it to your back, get a lot of people out in front, control the line of scrimmage, wide receivers blocking downfield. It almost feels like half the crowd is in front of him, getting it down to the secondary. They have a tough time getting him down.
They run it with Balaj, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Kalen Balaj, his 9th touchdown of the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
Extra point from McManus is good, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Now McManus on to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, if there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down. The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back here right after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
And a dump off here to Robinson. Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose.
And I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
From midfield now, here's Ryan. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Ryan will throw again. And caught by Henry. And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a 1st down.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue.
Throwing again. Ryan. Open man is Ross, complete. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Again, Ryan. And he's got his man on the out route. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 17 down to the 17, and it's a 1st down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, did.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
First down now, but that clock rolling.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if
he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one. They'll try again on second and goal after going backwards to the 12. From the shotgun, Ryan. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
From the gun, it's Ryan. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. Carlson able to put this one through. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Balaj. And they're able to get this one across the 35. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here.
Offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Detroit!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. To start it out, Robinson. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level. I don't care how many times we see it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that out.
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll run here with Robinson. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
3rd and long. It's Ryan. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me just long enough for me to get there, and that's exactly what happened on that play.
Fielded at about the 28. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now back out comes the offense. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. And they rattle off a big one. 58 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
They'll drop the throw, escaping the pressure right. And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. It's their quarterback taking it in. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here we go now. Blue Niners.
Play action. It's Ryan. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 35 yards there on the 3rd down conversion.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 10 more there and another 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And past the 30 down to about the 27. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. They stop them for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s, and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start with a give here to Balaj. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 in the first. Back now in Austin as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter.
Detroit! Detroit!
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he'll he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll look to throw here. 20! Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Give him 30 yards there.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Have confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and look like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw here. Over the middle, complete. That's Ross. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Now McManus on to kick this one off. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
All right, here we go. Green.
On 2nd down, here's Ryan. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A gain of 6 there on 1st. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
They'll throw on 1st down with Ryan. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll make it second down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Now Ryan. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. T.J. Watt in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Now let's go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And he returns it up just shy of the 20 to the 19-yard line. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he'll power his way up near the 25. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
He'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Farmer. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe. They're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
And down inside the 40 to about the 38. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Didn't get to the sticks, but that's an ideal carry there on first down, isn't it?
I mean, now you're 2nd and 1. Although, you know, in the NFL, even if he picked up the first down, I don't think it's a big difference because the clock doesn't stop.
Yeah, not like college.
Right. If it's college football, you want to make 2nd and 1 is probably better than picking up the first down because in college football, the clock stops with every first down. It actually aids the defense in that situation.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory. So for Austin, it's a 10th win on the year as they move to 10-3. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Pittsburgh Steelers.